What's your mind, body, spirit balance? We chat about that balance a lot on Epic Self. And as a chef, and you're always around food, how and gourmet food, so rich food, how do you stay nice and lean and active and balanced?
Well, it's whereas some chefs, they cook very rich, heavy food, and they're going to be really large chefs, or other chefs cook vegan food and or raw food, and they're larger. It's
Yes.
not always they don't always eat their own cuisine, and I prepare a lot of gourmet food because I like to, serving it in restaurants, and it's an entertainment, and people want that experience value. But a lot of chefs at home eat very, very simply, and I have most of my life eaten very simple food at home, and I eat at home most of the time, or at least on the go somewhere. So I've been the same weight for the last 30 years, essentially, plus or minus a couple pounds here and there, and I don't really pay attention. I just sort of follow my natural path of hunger. I don't overeat, and exercise every morning. It's the first thing I do, and really just eat as naturally as possible.
Wonderful. Well, and what does your fitness regime look like? You say you get up every morning and work out. What type of things are you doing?
Depends on where I am. When I'm on the West Coast, I try to do yoga a few days a week, and intense yoga, and I ride my bike all day, and wherever I go, I take a bicycle. I don't have a car. When I'm on the East Coast, like right now, I go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, sometimes do a little yoga at home, and run. I love, distance running, or at least 6 or 7 or 8 mile runs. And that's pretty much it. I mean, try to be active. Always have a bike nearby, and if I'm taking a phone call, like an hour conference call, I'm often taking it on my bike. People don't know that I'm on my bike, but um,
That's awesome. I
it's
definitely want to do that.
not even for exercise. I'll just ride around in circles. I just like to be moving,
Yeah, definitely.
and staying still, and I work standing up, but it's not. I'm not doing that to be in shape. My body's used to moving, and
Totally.
so I just try to. I'm active.
Great. Yeah, that's what I promote more than anything is just people need to move more in their everyday life, even if it's just walking to and from everywhere, just moving more. Um, and that
Sure.
just gives you more energy, and not only are you eating well, but then you're moving and creating more and more energy that way. Um, so I would love to ask you kind of what your definition of health is.
Well, every person's definition of health is different. I
Yes.
think, to me, it's of course there's the medical definition of not being ill and not having disease and so forth. That's a given. But on a day-to-day basis, it's really just about feeling your best, always having energy, not having these tired spells. I mean, when you get, I remember even when I was in my 20s in supposedly very good shape, I'd find myself very tired at 3 in the afternoon or 5 in the afternoon, not really understanding how food and different things impact my body. And now it's very, very rare that I have a low spot or a time where I'm too tired to go to the gym or too tired to work or whatever. So to me, that's health, being able to be, function optimally at all times.
Definitely. And I would love to ask you about your intention and your focus. And, do you get up and do you have any? I tend to do some kind of intention based meditation on positivity and giving and gratitude. Do you have anything like that that you utilize to keep you positive and full of energy?
Well, I'd love to say that I have a perfectly timed meditation routine, but I
I don't
travel
either,
a
man. I don't either. It's just kind of
lot.
try to get
I
it in.
travel a lot. Right now I'm on the East Coast, and there's a little bit of snow on the ground, and I'm within. I have a view of the ocean, so I wake up and look at the water and just sort of I wouldn't call it even meditating, but think about the day, and it always starts with something positive. I mean, that to me is the most important, to start with something positive and do something to sort of get myself going, which means exercise and drinking a lot of water and so forth. But I do take the first 2 or 3 hours of the day and put them into myself, which gives me the fuel for the rest of the day. I don't take meetings too early in the morning ever, and I don't really talk on the phone. So I really just start the day right, and that's to me the most important thing. When I'm traveling and have to get up early to catch a flight, that's when I really am impacted by not having that routine.
Yeah, well, it's so nice. It seems like you've got a great balance that you take the time to take care of yourself so that you can then be that much better in your work. And that's, I think, what we're all striving to find in this busy world is that balance. And it sounds like you've got that all set up for yourself. That's great. So I would love to ask some various tips that you might recommend for people, because you do travel so much and you do eat raw a vast majority of the time. What are some tips for people when they're traveling? What do you do?
Well, I mean, it used to be easy because I would take a couple of smoothies in an ice pack, 30 or 40 ounces of smoothie, and that would keep me going for a couple of days.
Okay.
Of course, now we can't do that.
Yes, with all the airline laws,
Yeah. So really, I don't eat a lot. I eat less when I travel. It sounds simplistic, sounds hard for some people, but I lose, if I take a 4 or 5 day trip when I'm in 3 cities, I'll lose 3 or 4 pounds. I mean, I'd rather do that than consume something I don't feel good about, or, eat something that's going to make me feel, like I'm rushing. So I just sort of eat less when I'm flying, especially. I just drink more water, eat a little bit of, less food, and I deal with it. I mean, I'm not suggesting that for anybody else, but it is what I do and it works for me. And then when I get settled again, I sort of refill my body with nutrients and calories.
Yeah. Well, do you find when you're traveling that, I know whenever I'm moving around, I always tend to go to grocery stores versus restaurants, just because I know I can go get just a simple fruit and nuts, and I can just go stock up on those simple basics and at least get that going, and have that if I can't prepare something. So do you do the kind of health food store thing where you're looking for health food stores and try to pop in?
Definitely. That's pretty typical. I'll go to Whole Foods and buy an avocado and some greens and a kombucha and, some sauerkraut or whatever. Yeah. And just throw something together really simply, not worry about dressing, and maybe some whole wheat bread or something. And very, very simple, but nutrient dense, and some chocolate, of course. And that's all I need.
All right, so let's talk about this chocolate thing. Do you eat chocolate every day? I love chocolate too.
I do eat chocolate every day.
Yeah, I know. My last question for you here, Matthew, is just some tips for people that are interested in getting more raw food into their life and making it budget friendly and convenient. What do you recommend? Because I know that your restaurants have lots of gourmet, great, amazing, they're intricate, detailed recipes. But how do people make it simple, convenient, and budget friendly?
Almost the same way as when I'm traveling. When I go to Whole Foods, I mean, I can't imagine a more balanced lunch than, some arugula or some kind of greens or lightly steamed kale. I mean, that's not raw, but it's, some dark leafy greens, ideally. A little bit of sauerkraut. I love ferments, and avocado, and perhaps, a squeeze of lemon and sea salt, and a little bit of nori. All of those things, you can pick it up and throw it together in like 5 minutes. Totally. Or make a dressing out of tahini, or any those kind of things, I think, are where people need to start. Or a smoothie. Like today, I didn't have time for lunch, so or yesterday, and I just threw together a smoothie with some pineapple and a little banana and maca and coconut butter and water and sea salt and honey. So I'm always able to. I'm a chef, so I have an advantage, but other people can do the same thing. I'm always able to throw a meal together in a matter of minutes, as long as I have some good ingredients. And our new book, Everyday Raw Express, is designed for that kind of experience, actually. It will be out next year.
Wonderful. That's what I was thinking when you said the title. I said that's got to be a convenience-based, budget-friendly type book. That's great.
No dehydrating, no young coconuts. Nothing really takes over 20 minutes, but it's still kind of gourmet in spirit. So I think people will enjoy it.
Oh, I can't wait to try some recipes out of it.